In 2023, we have seen the launch of some fantastic irons. In today's video, we're going to discuss the top irons for every single category of golfer, right from beginner to mid-handicapper, high-handicapper, low-handicapper, and even you guys with the ambitions to play on the PGA Tour. We'll get to that at the end. We're going to start off with beginner, and you'll see it's actually got a head cover on it. And I think these are a fantastic set of clubs for beginner golfers. You can get these from pitching wedge right through to 4-iron. They are, of course, the 11 hybrid iron sets. And my dad's put these in the bag. He's not a beginner golfer, he's a senior golfer, but he loves them. He says they have transformed his game. He struggles with club head speed. He has a very shallow angle of attack, and they actually work really, really nicely for him. Looking down at the ball, they look like you would anticipate them to look. They look very, very big, quite a short shaft. But then when you do hit them, as long as you can get shallow with it, you can get some quite interesting golf shots. I've hit that really, really badly. I've hit it really out the heel, and it's still got 130 yards carry for an 8-iron. I'm going to hit you a few more and just see exactly how versatile they can be. That's still spun at 6,000. We've still got pretty good ball speed. Nearly fell over my own ball there. But you can start to get some really good peak heights with these clubs. So if I hit one really hard, you can see there that ball's gone sky high here on the Golf Sun Simulator. That should carry around 145, 150, 144 yards carry, spinning at 7,300. So just because you're a beginner, you might want to move into being a high handicapper, a mid handicapper. These aren't going to suit you forever. I think ideally I would want people to start to learn how to compress the ball with an iron. I'd want to see people start to hit down on it a little bit more. But for me, if you are a beginner golfer, these are a great place to start to make golf just a little bit easier for you, because it's pretty hard. Okay, so high handicap golfers, what kind of clubs do you want? I did this video on drivers, and I stand by what I said there, in that a high handicap golfer potentially might be having a lot of lessons, might want to very quickly become a mid handicap golfer. So you don't want something that's going to hold you back. And I personally think the TaylorMade P790s changed the game when it came to forgiving irons, because the P790 was a bit of a problem for TaylorMade back in the day when they released the first generation, because low handicap golfers wanted to play it. They love the stunning good looks, they love the blade length, they love the top line, and they love that basically it looked like a player's golf club. Then they hit them and they realised actually, yes, they do come out quite hot, they come out quite fiery, and we generally start to see quite low spins. We've got the 8-iron here. That one spun at 7,000 again, not too bad. It's got 150 yards in the air. I'm quite happy with that. And then TaylorMade released the 770, the kind of little brother to the 790. That's probably more a mid-handicap club, but for me, if you're looking for the best high-handicap golf clubs, I don't think you can go much further than the P790s. They're hollow-bodied, they've got speed foam in them, which to be honest, I just think makes them feel and sound a little bit better. It totally depends for me if you do want a good feeling and sounding iron. But listen to that, that sounded absolutely gorgeous. We've got good club head speed, good ball speed, again spinning at 7,000. That one's gone 153 yards. So what I like about that is TaylorMade has stopped you getting that flyer that comes out at like 4,000 spin potentially. So that's why I think these are a lot better than the previous generation, and why I think they're the best high handicap irons of 2023. So when it comes to mid-handicap golfers, I found this one more difficult than the rest, because mid-handicap golfers generally want to become low-handicap golfers, but also could be on the cusp of being again a high-handicap golfer, depending how your golf's going and how many lessons you're having. Now, I tested these clubs not too long ago, and I actually got a set for myself just to see if they could help me improve my game. They are, of course, the PXG 0317T irons, and I love these golf clubs. I think they're fantastic. You could generally put them in a blended set with maybe the more forgiving irons in the top end and the lower irons in the short end, but for me, I quite like the fact that they are hollow-bodied. They don't look quite as big as the 790. I actually did a video with these comparing them against the TaylorMade P770 and really, really enjoyed the feel and the sound of these PXGs. You see, I've mishit that. This is the 9-iron, and that one's still going to go around 127.9 yards. The big thing here is you get the little bit of forgiveness when you put a bad swing in it like I did there, but if you're working on your game, you're a mid-handicap golfer, you're really working hard, you can get that still spun at 7,000, which I'm quite impressed with actually for that strike that I had, but you don't get the flyer like I mentioned with the 790, and the feel absolutely out of this world when you get them right. These aren't cheap clubs. I'm not saying this is a budget looking, very consistent 132. I'm not saying this is a budget video, but for me, if you're a mid-handicap golfer and you're looking for potentially the best irons for your range, I think these could be beautiful. The great thing about them as well, nobody knows these are a kind of mid-handicap iron. People look at these and they go, like, people have commented on my video on these clubs and said, James, they're blades, what are you talking about? They're not blades, these are the T version, not the ST version. These are a hollow-bodied forgiving iron, but they've just done a really good job of making them look not like a hollow-bodied forgiving iron. Okay, now this might ruffle a few feathers, but for me, the best low handicap iron out there isn't necessarily a blade. Just because you're a low handicap golfer and you've got yourself down into maybe 3-4 handicap, for me that is a low handicap. If you're a 7-8-9 handicap, you're kind of mid to low and you're starting to work down. You want to try and get slow. You want to try and get as close to scratch as possible. I really don't think you can do much better than the Takomo 301s. Now I've got the CB here. You can definitely go split set in these. You can actually order a split set and go blades in the short irons if you do want, but I don't think you need to. I think the CBs feel that good, look that good and perform that good. You don't need to worry about going for a bladed iron. Now there's loads of cavity back sets out there, and I think I would generally group these all together and go with the fact that you don't need to go blades all the way through the set. You can generally go for a nice split set, which would be wonderful. This is the 7-iron. I would hope this goes around 165 yards, because that's what a low handicap's wanting. They're not wanting huge distance with these clubs. You're just wanting consistency time after time after time, so you know how far you're hitting the golf ball and you know how far you can hit to a green or a flag or miss a hazard. That felt absolutely gorgeous. We've got 6,500 spin, and that should be about 165 on the nose. Oh, 166. So guys, get in the comments below, what do you think so far to my clubs that I'm having for the best clubs in every single category? One thing I really like about the Takomo is how they've kind of chamfered the leading edge off there. So we're not taking a divot out of the golf zone mat because that would get rather expensive, but if you're taking divots out there on the golf course, it really just helps you glide through the turf. Let's go one more with this, and then let's talk about the Tour aspirational clubs, which, let's face it, everyone had the aspiration at some point, didn't they? I've really not hit that one that well. What distance do we get with a miss hit? You can see we missed the grid, and again, it's 160 odd. Guys, let's talk about what are the best clubs for the person with the aspirations to play on tour, because I don't think it's going to be many of you, and it certainly isn't me, but they look gorgeous. So again, these are irons that I own a set of, and I'll give you a clue, they've got green grips on them. But for me, the best irons, these are basically the best blade irons, aren't they? Because if you've got tour ambitions, you're probably going to go into a set of blades, even though a lot of tour players don't in fact use blades anymore. I forgot to say, Wesley Bryan actually uses the Takomos, doesn't he? So maybe this could have been a bit of a different way around. But Vega Mizar irons, I love these. These are the pro versions, not the max versions. They are two totally different irons. What I like about these is, like I said, a lot of tour players would want blades, but these blades actually have a little bit of technology in them. They have a chamfered edge like the Takomo has. They actually have a bar that runs through the bottom of them. So depending what iron it is, medium iron, low iron or high iron, that has a different weighting in it. So you get the ultimate trajectory that you want. So actually in a club fitting, you can get fitted for every single iron as well, which I think is a fantastic concept. And these feel so good. That one's on the center line. And one of the things I really enjoy about these clubs is that element of feel. That's 150 yards on the nose with the 8-iron, spinning again around 7,000. So for me, what you're looking for here when you do get a set of irons like this is how do they perform? What kind of speed am I getting, but also what kind of spin rate am I getting, so I can have the ultimate control when I'm hitting into a green. There's very minimal offset. There's a nice blade length though, so you are getting that element of it doesn't look too small, and the top line just looks delightful. So for me, they are the best irons if you have aspirations to be on tour, which again, don't think many of you will do. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you do smash that subscribe button if you've enjoyed this video. And apart from that, I'll see you all exactly the same time tomorrow.